Welcome to Focus on Suppliers. I'm Leila Davidson.
And I'm Jared Davis. This is one of my favorite shows of the year, Leila. It's the big food show. Absolutely love the food show, not only because it makes me hungry, but there's a lot of innovation that's going on with our guests today, too.
Yeah, absolutely. We're talking to a lot of food companies. We're also talking to IRI. Did you know that the online grocery pickup now has over 3% penetration in households and is getting to 4% at holiday?
I know it's growing. I didn't realize it was growing that much. Now, along with innovation in food is getting healthier. People, especially the millennials, are looking for healthier snacks. We are going to have Mr. Robert Mock from Ocean's Halo on the show to tell us about what's going on with his seaweed line of snacks. It is very, very tasty. We got some free samples.
We also have Trilliant Foods here telling us how to negotiate a better salary so we can put more food on the table.
You know, when we talk about more people ordering food online, what is that doing for the sampling business? Bart Smith with Brand Share will tell us all about sampling at home. Focus on Suppliers starts now.
Focus on Suppliers, brought to you by 8th and Walton, where suppliers learn fast and grow, and sponsored in part by Saatchi & Saatchi X, Case Stack, and other outstanding companies.
If you're a supplier who's trying to land that Walmart account, you're going to love to hear from our next guest. Robert Mock is with Ocean's Halo and has recently gone through the process of bringing his product to the Walmart shelves. Great to have you here, Robert.
Thank you, Jared.
First of all, I'm interested in Ocean's Halo. Tell us how you became inspired to come up with this line of snacks.
So our company started with 4 dads. And
you're one of the dads?
I'm one of the dads. And it's a fun story. When my family moved out to the West Coast, to California, I was introduced to seaweed for the first time. And I found another fellow dad at the school, and he grew up eating seaweed. And we talked about how he grew up on seaweed, I grew up on potato chips and tortilla chips. Wouldn't it be neat if we could come up with a seaweed chip? And then we launched our first product, the seaweed chip. Since then, we've really innovated, and we've launched several great new products, and we've had a lot of fun. But the company was really started on 4 dads and delivering something that's nutritious and great tasting for our kids.
Now, seaweed, very competitive category, especially being a protein on the go. So how does Ocean's Halo sort of differentiate from the competition?
Well, our company is really mission driven, and I think the fact that we're all 40-something dads, we decided to do the company or start the company how we wanted to. And one of the big things we wanted to do was make an effort to make some changes. And I think one of the neat stories behind Ocean's Halo and the mission of sustainability, when we found seaweed, when we discovered seaweed as the ingredient, we learned more about it as a really carbon negative crop. In fact, it's probably the most sustainable crop on the planet. It requires no farmland, no fresh water, no pesticides, no herbicides. In fact, it just grows in the ocean with sunlight. So it's an incredible crop, and it has about 30 vitamins and minerals, so it's incredibly nutritious for you as well. We wanted to take that knowledge and that kind of theme and apply it to packaging. And so we came up with compostable packaging. And so from our first product to the products that we're launching now, we've really incorporated some degree of compostability, eco-friendly packaging. And so we've had a lot of fun with that.
Now, like a lot of suppliers who are taking their product to a store, you probably go in thinking, I want it to go in this category or this area. It seems like Ocean's Halo products have a variety of places they could go. So is that part of the negotiation? Does it vary by who you work with?
Well, I've always gotten the advice to know exactly where you want to be in a retailer's store before you have your meeting with your buyer. And I've tried to take that advice to heart, but the funny thing is that I think that it really depends on the particular retailer, maybe the geography, the region. We've been in so many different places. Luckily, we've succeeded in those places, but we've been next to potato chips. We've been in the Asian or specialty aisle, ethnic aisle. We've been at the checkout stand. We've been in coffee shops. And so the negotiation is really more of a put your cards on the table, tell the buyer about where you've been successful, and be transparent and try to come up with a plan that works for them and works for you.
And for suppliers who are thinking of landing that Walmart account, what advice do you have now that you've gone through the whole process?
Sure. I mean, I would just say transparency in a single word. Put your cards on the table, like I said, and tell them where your strengths are and where your weaknesses are, because they're really out there to help you because they need to win too. I mean, Walmart, we want to win with Walmart. Walmart wins, and so does Ocean's Halo. And I think you'll find that as long as you're telling people where where you have the most success and where you need a little help, you come together as a team and figure it out.
We appreciate your time, Robert. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you very much.
We're here with Greg Chandler, Executive Vice President with IRI, and we are going to talk about, starting with online grocery, hot topic. So you've got Walmart partnering with Google and Amazon acquiring Whole Foods, and now Kroger is expanding their options. How important is online to grocery?
Well, those top retailers have their finger on the pulse of the customer on this one. So it's not going to make or break your year yet. But if you look at a traditional adoption curve and how fast things grow, it's about to get a lot bigger. What we see is in Q2 of this year, it was at 3.3% share or penetration of online grocery. We're expecting by holiday that could be as big as 4%. What that means is you start to move on that adoption curve from the innovators to early adopters to early majority, and it's going to get big quickly.
Okay, so can you talk a little bit to the drivers and then also the barriers for the shoppers to actually change this behavior and buy our groceries online?
The biggest driver is what you might expect, which is convenience and time. And what we hear in social media is that customers say, this saves me an hour of my time. And once they've tasted that, they don't want to give back that hour. So that's one of the biggest drivers. And you see companies like Walmart that find ways to have the easy reorders to make it even faster to be able to get your groceries from end to end. So that's what's driving this overall adoption. In terms of barriers, there still is low availability of online grocery. So about 5% of the roughly 38,000 retailers in the US even have grocery pickup today or click and collect. But that's changing quickly with the Whole Foods acquisition by Amazon. Walmart's now at 1,000 stores for their grocery pickup. So that's changing quickly to make it available for everybody.
Yeah, I will call it a life changer, actually, in my family, because I can order the groceries and someone else can go pick them up, right?
Yeah, we hear people describe it as this is the future of grocery shopping now.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think there's been a little bit of a shift in our mindset of now we are going to buy our groceries online, and maybe a few years ago we thought that was crazy. How do you guys look at what is that next big category? What are those next products that are going to be adopted as online purchases?
You know, IRI's consulting group has taken a look at what categories to look at for this. We already see some categories like coffee and tea and granola bars at over 10% share online. Now, what do those categories have in common? The first thing is that you can find variety online. So if you're looking for specialty flavors, unusual flavors, that is something that you're going to look for online. The second is bigger items. If you buy things regularly, in bulk, high frequency, so think about the coffees and teas, but men's grooming, right, which we've seen an explosion in terms of online. Those high frequency items happen. And then also just things that push you over that $35 threshold online. People are looking for items to get them into that free shipping zone. And so items that can be paired with other items that are complementary to them, those items also are trending quickly.
So all of these things you mentioned make me think of holiday, where they may be gifts, they may be stocking up your home for visitors coming in. What can a supplier do this holiday season now to differentiate themselves?
Yeah, I think one of the big things is to remember that the online environment is influencing those shoppers, meaning it's where they're getting their media, they're consuming recipes, they're going there for prices. So I would be making sure that you're getting enough presence online so that customers are learning about your items there.
Excellent. Thank you so much for sharing your insights with us today.
Thank you.
Don't miss our new fun podcast, the 8th and Walton Conference Call.
calories do you have left today? How many physical steps have you taken? Many of us know the answers to these questions down to the decimal point. And that's because we're part of the ongoing trend of being proactive in health and wellness. And wouldn't you know it, this is becoming a trend for retailers too. The Food Marketing Institute reports that 81% of food retailers see health and wellness programs as an opportunity for significant business growth. That number was 70% just 3 years ago. Wellness is starting to be valued as a luxury item. High-end retailers like Nordstrom's and Saks Fifth Avenue have started folding in health and wellness-minded experiences to their stores. Employers are even starting to create their own initiatives. We can now connect our health and fitness trackers to insurance programs, and some companies are giving away devices that encourage healthy living. So maybe it's time to ask how you can capitalize on the enthusiasm for health and wellness. And if you're a business owner or leader, how can your product integrate into what retailers are already doing? Oh, and look, I just burned 40 calories just doing this segment. Yay me.
What if you created a town today? What would that town stand for? What matters and what would stand out? And where would you find this new town? Bentonville, Arkansas. Visit Bentonville, a new American town.
K-Stack, the leader in collaborative retail consolidation programs. We offer the supply chain expertise needed to navigate the challenges of selling products with the world's largest retailers. And we provide customers with a customizable, scalable, environmentally sustainable supply chain with the same advanced technology typically used by larger rivals. By leveling the playing field, K-Stack lowers distribution costs and increases overall margins. K-Stack, retail logistics is what we do.
If you need answers and need them now, chat with us. Talk with our Retail Link experts online during business hours Monday through Friday. They'll quickly help you find what you need or point you in the right direction. Go to 8thandwalton.com/chat. We can help.
You know, retail analysts have shown that over 50% of consumers will actually buy a product if they've just had the chance to sample it. Now, here's the issue. How do you get your product sample into the hands of the online consumer? Well, Bart Smith is joining us now from BrandShare, and he and his team work with companies like Walmart.com to accomplish this every day. Bart, it is fantastic to have you here.
We're really happy to be here. Excited to be in Northwest Arkansas.
Oh, outstanding. Well, you came at a great time of year. And I want to talk to you particularly about the online shopper. With so many people who are ordering from their phone, they're going to their neighborhood market or their Walmart to pick up their groceries, how have you creatively found a way to get product samples into their hands?
Well, as many people know, Walmart has expanded and grown the online grocery pickup locations in their stores. They just recently crossed over 1,000 locations with grocery pickup. And grocery pickup is catering to a lot of people who are pressed for time. They're busy, they're moms, they're trying to balance work and kids. And what we've done is partnered with Walmart.com and suppliers in Northwest Arkansas and around the country to get their samples, and you see some examples of samples here on the table along with the grocery pickup bag. We are partnering to get these samples and these bags into the hands of Walmart consumers who are using grocery pickup for the first time.
They pull in for the first time, they get one of these great totes and excellent assortment of samples. As I was talking with you before and actually went out to Walmart.com doing a little bit of research on the sampling, I saw these great subscription boxes. So how do the subscription boxes work?
So the subscription box model is a little bit different than the bags model. The bags are more about a surprise and delight. So mom pulls in to the grocery pickup location. The Walmart associate loads her groceries into the back of her car, and they're given this bag and just said, thank you for using grocery pickup. We really appreciate you giving us a try. Here's some free samples. We hope you enjoy those. She takes them home and she utilizes them in and around the house. Our subscription boxes are, like I said, a little bit different in the fact that you sign up for those on Walmart.com. We currently have 3 subscription boxes available. We have a Walmart Beauty box available, we have a Walmart Baby box available, and we have a Walmart Men's Grooming box, which is a special edition box that's also available.
I know when you and I had a chance to speak, we were talking about some of the old school suppliers that really feel like giving out that sample at the point of purchase is the most effective. But there really is an advantage to trying the sample in your home. What is the advantage to having that sample and waiting till you get home to try it out?
I think the advantage to having the samples in your house is so many of the samples are things you're going to use throughout your busy day. For example, you see the laundry detergent there. If you get that in a store, you're going to probably stick that in your purse or in your pocket, something along those lines. You're not going to use it right there. You see the shampoo and the conditioner. You get those delivered at home. You're going to take those into the laundry room, into the bathroom. Next time you are in one of those rooms, you may use one of those samples. So I think it's just closer to the point of it being used.
Yeah, and then you remember that, put it on your list. Then you add it the next time that you go back to the store.
That's exactly right. There's some tremendous statistics that show that a large portion, somewhere up close to 50% of people who try a product at home will buy it in the store or on .com.
Bart, we appreciate you sharing your knowledge with us today. Thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
My next guest had a chance today to visit with buyers from Sam's Club about one of my favorite categories, the skillet meal category. I'm so glad that Randall Constant is here from Tasty Choice. Great to have you here, Randall.
Thanks for inviting me.
I want to talk about the skillet meal category for a second. So we know that this is a huge thing in households today as far as solving problems. From your vantage point, how is this helping the consumer?
It's saving them time. That's the main thing. You have so many families that are working. The husband and wife are working, and they just don't have time. So they're basically seeing who's going to get home first, so that they can throw a skillet meal in the pan, and it takes 10 minutes to put it together, and they're eating, and then they can go watch TV.
And then I know with Tasty Choice, it's not only about saving time, saving money. You actually take this a step further for the consumer. Tell us about what you're doing that's innovative.
The thing that we do is that we make it very, very easy for the consumer. When they come in and they see Tasty Choice, they basically know it's all going to be the same price. Whether it's 22 ounces or 24 ounces, they're all the same.
You have such a variety, so many things that you offer the consumer. What are the big sellers right now?
Right now, as far as we're concerned, shrimp scampi, you can't go wrong with shrimp scampi, shrimp fried rice, chicken Alfredo. We do very, very well with the items that have the rich sauces. We make it with real butter and real cream, and if that's the case, that's the items they tend to gravitate to.
How does Tasty Choice kind of cater to the millennials? What are you doing for this specific demographic?
Well, the way I look at it, you do quite a bit of business with the Asian and Italian category, but sometimes you got to go a little further and do some different things, whether it's Korean, Indian, Cajun, whatever country. You could do a bunch of different things. But the thing in our case, the millennials go, they see everything on the computer, and they see all the different cuisines. We make the things that they're kind of looking for.
You and I were kind of talking about the skillet category off camera and the kind of the evolution of what we've seen come and go. As you're looking few years down the line, what excites you about this category, and what do you see that we can be expecting?
Home delivered meal kits are big, huge. You read it all about them. You hear about the money being poured into the category. I'm getting excited about the possibility of frozen skillet meals being delivered by grocery store chains around the country. And if that ever happens, then watch out.
Randall, we wish you a lot of luck with Sam's Club. Thank you so much, and please come back and see us again.
Thanks a lot.
Suppliers, get the latest retail news 24/7 at Walmart News Now.
K-Stack, the leader in collaborative retail consolidation programs. We offer the supply chain expertise needed to navigate the challenges of selling products with the world's largest retailers. And we provide customers with a customizable, scalable, environmentally sustainable supply chain with the same advanced technology typically used by larger rivals. By leveling the playing field, K-Stack lowers distribution costs and increases overall margins. K-Stack, Retail logistics is what we do.
Halloween candy sales have grown every year for the past 5 years and are now $2 billion annually. Tapping into that growth requires a deep understanding of the Halloween shopper and their changing path to purchase. For more info, visit iriworldwide.com/insights.
Paul Estill, attorneys at law, with 7 offices nationwide, including Northwest Arkansas. We are a full-service business law firm assisting clients with their corporate, employment, and real estate legal needs. For more information, visit hallestill.com.
Need help now with OTIF? The clock is ticking, and every minute you delay is costly. So contact 8th & Walton OTIF Help at 8th & Walton/OTIF now and learn what you need to know about On Time in Full. You'll learn how to navigate the OTIF scorecard, including its nooks and crannies. You'll find root cause insights, and you'll learn how to build a solid action plan. Don't wait another minute. Contact 8th & Walton today for help with On Time in Full.
You know, one of the interesting changes in business over the last few years is how corporations see their energy expenses. Because as renewable energy becomes more and more commonplace, energy becomes a controllable expense. Here to talk more about renewable energy is Mr. Greg Poole from Edison Energy. Great to have you here, sir.
Great to be here. Thank you.
Why do you feel, because you work so closely with this, that corporations are adding renewable energy to their energy portfolios?
It went from companies seeking out renewable energy or sustainability claims to serve some outlier group to being part of the core business. They're treating their energy as controllable. They're finding that increases in energy can affect their profitability as well as decreases in energy cost. An increase in energy of 5% for a retail example that we were working with recently, they would have to increase their sales by 12% to make up that impact on their profitability. And a decrease of 5%, if they were able to achieve that through some mechanism, they can increase their profitability by 0.35% after taxes. Now, those sound like small numbers to us, but if you're the CFO, they don't.
A lot of great points right there. First of all, just with sustainability teams and corporations now having these commitments. We hear about these new commitments and projects all the time. What is that doing to the renewable energy market?
It's driving our business, of course. Companies are finding that they want to follow the peer leaders in their group. They see what companies like VF, Wrangler, or Procter & Gamble are doing, and they respect these companies as leaders in their industry. They want to follow that trend, but they're finding that it's very complex. The market is overwhelmed with offers. How to sort through the best deal, how to set the best goal, how to run the full analytics and get a clear picture of the risk, and then how to move that forward, the support through the approval process, and the contracting within a company.
And this is what Edison Energy does. You come in and you assist the companies when they're trying to meet their goals.
That's right. Generally within a company, we'll see a driver either by the stakeholders with some internal champion, a lot of times from the sustainability team, sometimes from the energy team. They'll build the internal consensus or the internal momentum, but rarely do they get additional resources, headcount, additional training or expertise. That's where we come in. My team is made up of members from industry, from retail. They've been across the other side of the table, project developers, finance folks, data engineers, and we do the heavy lifting for you. So everything from helping you develop a feasible and achievable goal that's peer reviewed, to selling the idea internally, evaluating the market, running the deep analytics and getting a clear risk picture of how this sets up for your company, to the more common things like contracting and the approval process.
That's great. Greg, we appreciate you being here.
Thank you
so much.
We are talking salary negotiations, how to get the best offer, the most money, and also how to avoid saying the wrong thing in a conversation. We are here with the Senior Vice President of Trilliant Foods today, Sharon Belto. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Yeah. So tell me, let's just cut right to the chase. How do you get the best offer? How do you get the most?
Very important question. By far, you have to look at negotiations and your package as a bundle. It's never, ever, it should never be about one thing. So a lot of people go in and say, gee, I need this amount of salary. Or, my insurance benefits, or my bonus has to be a certain percent. You go in to the negotiation with a bundle approach. And so you will be prepared when you are looking at what your needs are by understanding what are all the different elements that are most important to you. and understanding exactly where you want to be with them. And then lastly, I would say when you consider about where you want to be with them, look at it as a range, because that's what negotiating is about. That's about willing to give and take. So again, when you go in and you're asking for a salary or you're negotiating to get a better salary, you're really looking at every aspect of it and understanding. Don't ever just pull out one aspect of it, because then you're backing yourself into a corner of a yes or no if it's a certain amount of pay or if it's a certain amount of time. Always talk about your salary as a bundle of what you need to stay whole.
I love that. I think that's great advice too about not backing yourself into a corner and leaving those options open versus a yes or no answer. So say I've looked at my compensation total package and there are just maybe some non-negotiables for me that I need to bring up. So how do you ask for more?
Great. First and foremost, always thank them for the offer and be extremely appreciative. Talk about how generous the offer is, how much time went into it, right? So it's really all about really being appreciative. The worst thing you can do is go and say, well, this is disappointing. And trust me, I've had that happen to me before, and you're like, what? Just tell them that you appreciate it, because a lot of work does go into it, and you very much appreciate it. And then you move into, there are just a few areas that I'd like to address, and I'd like to address them based on the experience I'm bringing and the skills I'm bringing to the table. I'd like to address some of these concerns. So again, very positive. Secondly, be very fact-based. It's not personal, it's not emotional. And I've seen people fall into that trap where they get very emotional and they start talking about things like why they have to have that salary. Again, at the end of the day, I would tell you it's like with any negotiation, it is all about them. It's not about you.
Yeah, I think that's just such a great reminder, because we do get so focused in a salary situation on ourselves and don't think of how the other person is working their side of the table. So I guess in that regard, what are some no-nos? What as an interviewer, what's a red flag for you when you hear it?
Right. So again, I kind of go back to this old saying, it's all about them, it's not about you, right? So number one, never ever say they owe you that because what somebody else makes. Never compare yourself to somebody else. That's a big no-no. Never say you deserve it. and don't focus on, never talk about all those things you have done, focused on what you can do for them in the future. Because the old saying, what have you done for me lately? At any business, if it's your initial salary or you're negotiating for a raise, it's really going to be all about the return you can provide going forward, not what you've done in the past.
That, I think, is great advice for anyone in a variety of situations.
That's right.
Thank you so much, Sharon. We really enjoyed having you.
Thank you.
Connect with us online. Follow 8th & Walton on Facebook.
K-Stack, the leader in collaborative retail consolidation programs. We offer the supply chain expertise needed to navigate the challenges of selling products with the world's largest retailers. And we provide customers with a customizable, scalable, environmentally sustainable supply chain with the same advanced technology typically used by larger rivals. By leveling the playing field, K-Stack lowers distribution costs and increases overall margins. K-Stack, retail logistics is what we do.
Need help now with OTIF? The clock is ticking and every minute you delay is costly. So contact 8th & Walton OTIF help at 8th & Walton/OTIF now and learn what you need to know about On Time in Full. You'll learn how to navigate the OTIF scorecard, including its nooks and crannies. You'll find root cause insights, and you'll learn how to build a solid action plan. Don't wait another minute. Contact 8th & Walton today for help with On Time in Full.
Our guests enjoy staying at the 21C Museum Hotel and hosting dinner, meetings, and product launches there.
What a great show. You got a little food, right?
Well, the best thing is a lot of our guests brought us free samples.
Oh, yeah, really good samples.
Now you know a little behind the scenes.
So you probably won't have to grocery shop this week since you have all those good snacks?
May have to make a trip or two, possibly.
Are you the grocery shopper in your family?
I am not. We do like one trip a week to the store, but if I know, okay, you're making ribs and mac and cheese, if I'm making something for the family, then I'll go by myself and get the ingredients. But I'm like once a month.
Yeah, that's kind of how it works in our family too. And I happen to love all these innovations because I can actually go online and order the groceries and have someone else, whether that be my husband or my daughter, go pick them up with online grocery pickup.
Well, and the reason that I don't go to the stores because I'm not allowed to go to the store. If I go and I know I'm supposed to get one thing, then I will see that they purposely put out the, dog food sized bag of Fruity Pebbles, and I'm grabbing it and going home. So I'm restrained.
That is the joy of these innovations. We can divide and conquer.
We'll see you next week.